To switch of whose music they want to plug in and listen to on the way to school, and North was listening to Ice Spice, and I didn't know who that was at the time. And I was like, this is the moment where I feel really old, where my daughter is now teaching me what's cool. I then had the idea to put her in a Skims campaign. So that all came through North and what she liked. I think it's always tough when you're co-parenting and someone wants something and someone doesn't. I would say the Ice Spice videos, she said, Mommy, can I post this? I was out of town, so I had my nanny was there and allowed it. And then as soon as I saw the words and everything, I was like, oh, no, we're taking this down. She was totally understood. So I think that's the trial and error sometimes. And, and then I saw on the internet, it's like, Kanye was right. And maybe he was, in that instance. But in the creative side, where she loves making slime videos, every day the kid gets to switch of whose music they want to plug in and listen to on the way to school.
Listen, guys, welcome to Little Bad Night One. Quickly, talking to you guys about obviously Kanye West and Kim. Look, I want to say this first and foremost before somebody jumps on Kim, right? I don't agree with everything Kim does. I don't agree with everything lifestyle choice he makes, but that's her life. But I gotta say this: maturity in taking accountability is a huge thing. When people can admit that they're wrong, when people can admit that they did something that wasn't necessarily quite right, that's a beautiful thing. Now, she didn't go all the way. She said maybe he was right. But even so, that for me is a mature trait. That tells me that this person is willing to shift their opinion and their position if they believe they're wrong. Now, I don't know if I consider the same for Kanye. I don't know if I consider the same for Kanye. So I'm not about to sit here and try and make this into a hate campaign for Kim Kardashian and talk about how that, the 304s and did it because Kanye chose her, right? And you chose her thinking that she'd be the right person to mother your kids. Now we got to deal with the consequences. Now, I don't think necessarily that Kim Kardashian's the worst kind of mother or anything like that. Not at all, right? I think she loves her daughter. I think she loves her family. I think she's tried with Kanye. And Kanye, unfortunately, with the bipolar as well, I believe the mental illness aspect scare as well. I think that also played a part in driving a wedge between himself and Kim and actually really co-parent in a way that would be beneficial all the way. I mean, there is aspects of co-parenting that they're doing already, so not against them at all. But I don't want to be somebody who's going to be jumping on Kim Kardashian because she came out and admitted that Kanye could be right about something. Yes, a broken clock is right twice in a day. And I'm not saying that Kanye is only right twice in a day, but what I'm saying is let's not make this a whole campaign of like Kanye is right all the time. Let's stop that, right? Because when he was talking about Hitler, when he's talking about black people's slavery as a choice and stuff like that, y'all weren't feeling it. When he was tweeting all white lives matter, y'all ain't feeling it. So let's not try to make it now because you don't like Kim Kardashian that you can't be objective about the situation from a parental perspective. And I'm not even a parent, but having been a firstborn and looked after your siblings and had to, rear them up in their younger years, right? You learn to be protective over your children. And sometimes the protecting can be too much. And sometimes you can underdo it because you're trying to assess what works for that particular child. And I'm not a parent. So again, I'm going to say this again. I'm sure there's some experimenting that goes on in terms of what parental controls you put on it. Now, of course, Kim was away. Kanye wasn't close. So the nanny was at the time and point when the post was put up, when she was talking about with Ice Spice, the nanny was at that point in time there, but she got the authorization from Kim. It's an experiment. She learned, she realized maybe this wasn't the right choice to make, and the lyrics that she's singing aren't the right thing. Let's be freaking honest. Some of us were singing, let me see your thumb. Let me know, some of you were singing that at your young ages, right? Some of you are singing, my elevator, let it up, when you're talking about not elevators, okay? All right? There are several songs we sing, that we sang when we were younger, that now if you listen to it, you're like, whoa, that was explicit at the time. I had no position to be singing those kind of songs, but you were. Right? So parents do make mistakes. Parents do sometimes miss things because they're from a different world, a different generation. And so I'm not going to get mad at Kim for missing it. And maybe, you know what, she found out later on and still she put her in a campaign. Okay, great. It is what it is. It happens. I'm not about to start raging about it because you want to make it into a 3 or 4 hawk situation. I see some of these men on these internet, and listen, look, I'm not here to save anybody, but I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Sometimes shut the fuck up. Sometimes shut the hell up, because it's like it's long every single time you want to try and prove a narrative about how the hoes are looking after children, etc. But you chose them. So what do you want me to do? We are working with what we have. Okay, all right. And this is where co-parenting is so important. And this is where compromise comes in. And this is where when you water the fields that you're in. Now, I don't think Kim Kardashian is an unreasonable person by any long shot. I'm not saying that she doesn't have her own ways and wants to do things her own way. I ain't saying that. But I think if you can water the fields correctly, you lot can have a very good relationship. Even up until this now, she's still co-parenting with Kanye, who, by the way, I'm gonna lie to you, has moved mad in some aspects. Stalkerish. Now, don't get it twisted. Yes, her past boyfriend Pete was absolutely loony. Can't even lie to you, and Kim knows that, and that needed to go. I'm serious. That needs to go. When you're tattooing your person's name on your body, yeah, that kind of craziness shouldn't be around your kids. So again, Kanye was right about that too. So but I think we have to have grace for people and parents, especially because they're trying to figure stuff out as well at the same time. So I'm not gonna be mad at her for admitting that yes, Kanye was right about an Ice Spy situation. All we're gonna ever ask is let's work together and let's do what's in the best interest of that child, because at the end of the day, it's a child that suffers. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. Don't forget, you know what it is? It's mineral, gang. You understand? Make sure you grab your merchandise down below. There's a link there as well. If you want to support the channel, PayPal is Little Black Button 91 as well. We'll always accept your help and support on this channel. And don't forget, you can join the